POLIWAVE's latest federal election projections. As of February 28th, here's where the parties stand in the race for parliament. The Conservative Party, CPC, continues to lead the race with the 168 seats, positioning itself as the frontrunner in this election. While this number falls short of the 170-seat threshold needed for a majority government, the Conservatives are within striking distance. Their stronghold in key provinces, particularly in Western Canada and Ontario, has given them a significant edge, but they will need to maintain momentum and secure additional support to govern without relying on other parties. Meanwhile, the Liberal Party, LPC, holds 132 seats, maintaining a solid presence but facing a difficult battle to close the gap. While the Liberals continue to dominate in urban centers and parts of Atlantic Canada, they are struggling to regain the level of nationwide support they once enjoyed. With the election campaign intensifying, their strategy will likely focus on consolidating their base and appealing to undecided voters, particularly in swing ridings. In Quebec, the Bloc Québécois, BQ, remains a dominant force with 29 seats, reinforcing its influence as a regional powerhouse. With a strong nationalist stance, the Bloc has been successful in rallying Quebec voters who prioritize provincial interests over national party lines. Their ability to maintain or grow their seat count could play a crucial role in a potential minority government scenario, where their support might be needed for legislative stability. The New Democratic Party, NDP, with just 12 seats, is struggling to gain traction on a national level. Despite a dedicated voter base and a platform focused on progressive policies, the party is facing challenges in key battlegrounds, particularly in Ontario and British Columbia, where both the Liberals and Conservatives are dominating the conversation. Without a significant surge in support, the NDP risks losing further ground and limiting its ability to influence the next parliament. Finally, the Green Party, GPC, is projected to hold 2 seats, maintaining a small but consistent presence in the House of Commons. While their numbers remain low, the Greens continue to advocate for environmental and progressive policies. Their influence may be limited in terms of parliamentary power, but their role as a voice for climate-focused governance ensures they remain part of the national political discussion. Now let's break down the seat projections region by region. In British Columbia, the Conservative Party, CPC, leads with 21 seats, solidifying its position as the dominant force in the province. This strong performance suggests that conservative messaging on economic growth, resource development, and crime has resonated with voters, particularly in suburban and rural areas. The Liberal Party, LPC, follows closely with 18 seats, maintaining a significant presence, especially in urban centers like Vancouver and Victoria, where progressive policies and social programs remain key voter concerns. The Liberals will need to strengthen their appeal in battleground ridings if they hope to close the gap with the Conservatives. The New Democratic Party, NDP, holds just 3 seats, a relatively weak showing for a party that has historically found support in BC. While the NDP's progressive stance on housing affordability, healthcare, and workers' rights still resonates with a segment of the electorate, they appear to be losing ground to both the Liberals and Conservatives. The Green Party, GPC, secures 1 seat, maintaining a foothold in a province known for strong environmental advocacy. While the Greens may not have widespread electoral success, their influence in BC politics remains notable, particularly in ridings where climate policies are a major concern. In Alberta, the Conservative Party, CPC, dominates with a commanding 35 seats, reinforcing the province's reputation as a conservative stronghold. Alberta has long been a key base for the party, where issues such as oil and gas development, lower taxes, and reduced federal intervention resonate strongly with voters. This overwhelming lead suggests that the CPC continues to enjoy strong support across both urban and rural regions of the province. The Liberal Party, LPC, manages to secure just one seat, a marginal presence in a province that has traditionally leaned conservative. The Liberals' support is likely concentrated in Edmonton or Calgary, where progressive policies on climate action and social programs still find some backing. However, their ability to expand beyond this lone seat remains highly uncertain. Similarly, the New Democratic Party, NDP, also holds just one seat, reflecting the party's ongoing struggle to gain traction in Alberta. While the NDP has had provincial success in the past, federally, it faces an uphill battle against the Conservatives' dominance. Their support is likely concentrated in Edmonton, where left-leaning voters prioritize healthcare, labor rights, and climate policies. In the Prairies, which include Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and parts of Western Canada, the Conservative Party, CPC, continues its stronghold, securing 19 seats. The region has traditionally favored the Conservatives, with voters prioritizing issues such as agricultural policies, economic development, and reduced federal regulations. The CPC's dominance in rural areas remains unshaken, reflecting a deep-rooted support base that aligns with their platform on resource development and lower taxation. The Liberal Party, LPC, holds 6 seats, marking a limited but notable presence. Most of these seats are likely concentrated in urban centers, such as Winnipeg and Regina, where the party's focus on social programs, healthcare, and climate action appeals to a more progressive voter base. However, beyond these urban pockets, the Liberals struggle to gain traction in a largely conservative-leaning region. The New Democratic Party, NDP, secures 3 seats, maintaining a foothold in select ridings where labor rights, healthcare, and affordability remain key concerns. The NDP's support is primarily seen in certain parts of Manitoba and Saskatchewan, where they have historically found backing from workers, unions, and Indigenous communities. However, they face a tough challenge in expanding their influence against the dominant CPC. In Ontario, the largest and most politically influential province, the Conservative Party, CPC, leads with 70 seats, securing a significant advantage. Their strong performance is driven by widespread support in suburban and rural areas where voters are responding to their policies on affordability, tax cuts, and crime reduction. The CPC has made substantial gains in key battleground ridings, particularly in the Greater Toronto Area, GTA, suburbs, and other high-growth regions. The Liberal Party, LPC, holds 48 seats, retaining a strong presence, especially in Toronto, Ottawa, and other urban centers. The Liberals continue to benefit from a loyal base that supports progressive policies on healthcare, climate action, and social programs. However, their losses in suburban swing ridings signal growing voter frustration over issues such as the economy, housing affordability, and cost of living. The New Democratic Party, NDP, struggles with just 3 seats, failing to gain significant ground in Ontario. While traditionally strong in some parts of Hamilton, Northern Ontario, and downtown Toronto, the NDP faces stiff competition from both the Liberals and Conservatives, who are absorbing much of the province's political momentum. The party's challenge remains expanding beyond its core support base. Meanwhile, the Green Party, GPC, secures 1 seat, reflecting a limited but dedicated voter base in select environmentally conscious ridings. The Greens have historically found pockets of support in Guelph and parts of the GTA, but they continue to face difficulty breaking into Ontario's broader political landscape. In Quebec, the electoral battleground remains fiercely competitive, with the Liberal Party, LPC, leading at 35 seats. The Liberals continue to dominate in Montreal and surrounding urban areas, where their progressive stance on immigration, healthcare, and social programs resonates strongly. Despite their lead, they face challenges from both the Bloc Québécois, BQ, and the Conservative Party, CPC, in key ridings. making Quebec a crucial province in determining the final election outcome. The Bloc Québécois, BQ, holds 29 seats, reaffirming its strong presence as Quebec's nationalist party. With a platform focused on Quebec's autonomy, language protection, and provincial rights, the Bloc remains a dominant force outside Montreal, particularly in rural and francophone regions. Their influence makes them a key player in any potential minority government scenario, as their support could be critical in parliamentary negotiations. The Conservative Party, CPC, has secured 13 seats, an indication of growing support in Quebec. While the province has traditionally been challenging for the Conservatives, their emphasis on law and order, economic stability, and lower taxes has found traction in some ridings, particularly in areas with more conservative-leaning voters. Their challenge will be expanding further into francophone regions, where nationalist sentiment often leans toward the Bloc. The New Democratic Party, NDP, holds just one seat, marking a steep decline from its historic 2011 Orange Wave success in Quebec. The party has struggled to regain ground in the province, as many former supporters have shifted to either the Liberals or the Bloc Québécois. The NDP's progressive platform on healthcare, affordability, and workers' rights still resonates with some voters, but it has not been enough to significantly increase their seat count. In Atlantic Canada, the Liberal Party, LPC, maintains a strong lead with 23 seats, solidifying its dominance in the region. The party continues to benefit from deep-rooted support in Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, where voters traditionally favor policies centered on healthcare, economic support, and social programs. However, while the Liberals still hold the majority, their grip on the region has weakened compared to previous elections, reflecting growing voter concerns over affordability, inflation, and economic challenges. The Conservative Party, CPC, has made notable gains, securing 7 seats. This reflects a shift in certain ridings where voters are increasingly drawn to the CPC's messaging on lower taxes, job creation, and economic stability. The Conservatives have found traction in rural areas and parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, where frustration with Liberal policies has led to increased support for a change in leadership. However, breaking further into the traditionally liberal-leaning Atlantic provinces remains a challenge for the CPC. The New Democratic Party, NDP, and Green Party, GPC, are not currently projected to win seats in the region, signaling that the electoral battle remains primarily between the Liberals and Conservatives.